I do not know how they keep on managing to make themselves just even bigger laughing stocks, but Ubisoft, man, you gotta give them a hand for just simply finding new and interesting ways to try to keep Assassin's Creed Shadows in the headlines. It's just, you might have jumped the shark on this one. Okay, because now you're taking the approach of, well, you can't beat the criticism, so now, no, we're just going to go ahead and silence it because their subreddit bans individuals disliking the game's combat and pointing out Ubisoft's agenda. Okay, so you can't dislike the combat. It's not even the, character design, any of the culture war type topics. No. If you just look at this and go, not really an Assassin's Creed game. I don't know what you built over here, kind of a broadcast dollar store Ghost of Tsushima. You can't even point that out. A new report details Assassin's Creed subreddit banned an individual for disliking the game's combat and pointing out Ubisoft's DEI agenda. X account Reddit Lies reports a person posted an Assassin's Creed subreddit. People are either going to play the game or they will not. I'm still leaning to play it, but I do not want more gameplay. I do not want to see more gameplay. But I am disappointed. Oh, I do want to see more gameplay. Okay, my mistake. This isn't what I expected or was hoping for. I don't care about Yasuke's races, whatever it is. Just when I imagined an Assassin's Creed game in this time period, I didn't expect a hulking person swinging around a club, but whatever. They went in a different direction and what I thought it would be. Oh well, he continued as far as the comments, the original post. A reason they definitely did not want to do this is because of pandering, because that's not how businesses work. Now, like who exactly were they pandering to? I disagree 100%. Ubisoft is neck deep in their DEI initiative. It is part of their core principles. That's fine. It's what drives their choices. But the DEI crowd is who they are pandering to for the journalists to the activist, or from the journalists to the activist, which is, yeah, exactly true. But is there anything inherently wrong? Even if you just wanted to stay away from all of the overarching, meta problems with the game, if you just simply wanted to look at the combat and go, not really my Assassin's Creed, I'll give it a chance, I'm still kind of interested. It's just, can we take a look at the Assassins part of the Assassin's Creed game? No, okay, no, I'll just be over here getting banned. That's great. You can go ahead and join the ranks of other people fed up with Ubisoft as IGN Japan and Ubisoft get roasted for their damage control interview to Japanese gamers for Assassin's Creed Shadows. Yeah, because it's funny, because all of the Japanese related outlets, okay, the IGN Japan's, Ubisoft Japan's, Assassin's Creed Japan accounts and profiles that do anything promote Shadows, it gets ratioed to hell and back. It's a consistent through line, okay? Only 207 likes out of nearly 700,000 views on X. YouTube dislike ratio also destroys Ubisoft and IGN. The Japanese comments on the video and YouTube are scathing. Let's take a look at some of them. Assassin's Creed is set in Japan's Azuchi Momoyama period, and I'm surprised that the fails to anticipate the shockwaves that would result from making Yasuke, who isn't even in textbooks, a legendary samurai, and having him kill Japanese people instead of the actual Japanese themselves. I mean, you giant black guy, you're racist. Don't point that out. There's no doubt that both Ubisoft and IGN think it's okay to discriminate against Japanese people. It's very ironic, but this game taught me how humiliating and infuriating racism can be. For Japanese people, they know it's fiction because their own country's history is not IGN Japan. That's the one who's at fault for not releasing the video. It's IGN's main family. Yeah, but how's IGN's main family doing on this one? 150 upvotes, 4,800 downvotes. Ooh, that's really not good, man. That's really not good. But you can go ahead and watch that if you'd like to, and join an ever-growing audience of people not exactly buying the line that Ubisoft is putting out there. Yeah, it's not just IGN, okay? You got The Guardian and Keza McDonald, okay? That must be the author, are trying to paint the Assassin's Creed backlash as racist and misogynist. Of course they are. Doesn't ask the Japanese how they feel, because of course you know how they feel. They just want to see Japanese people in their Japanese-centric game. Very racist. And calls Yasuke as a samurai historically accurate. It's like, do we even need to run that back? It's just how inaccurate that statement is. strangely include the Stellar Blade screenshot. I'm sorry, what? While talking about the IGN disproven slander report against Wukong, and talked about that quite a bit, further spreading the hit piece. From her tweet, it's obvious she is not being a journalist, but an activist. You don't say. Well, what's some of the things that she had to say about this? The anti-woke campaign that kicked off a few months ago is still rolling on. The language may have changed a little bit since Gamergate. Oh my god, it lives rent-free in their heads. And the intention behind it has not. Forgive my simmering rage. Oh yeah, no, heaven forbid there's an angry woke white woman. But I've seen this way too many times before. Yeah, it's almost like there's been way too many bad games. And there's her article, The Disturbing Online Mythogony of Gamergate has returned, if it ever went away. Yeah, it's almost like bad games get ratioed and mocked to hell and back, and it's you journalists who continue to try to push it out there with your tired old narratives, and you continue to get refuted at every single turning point. Just after Summer Game Fest finished, the anti-woke gamers found a new target. A report at IGN, which credibly and comprehensively lays out a history of sexism at the developer of up-and-coming Planet of the Apes meets Sekiro action game. You don't even know that it's an adaptation of the story Journey to the West, one of the oldest tales of all time. Interesting. Yeah, Black Myth Wukong. The response, surprise, was to go after the woman who wrote it. Yeah, because she lied. She lied about the translation, continued to run with that. It's like, yeah, if somebody's wrong and they're unwilling to retract it, I mean, what do you do at that point? While spinning up a ludicrous conspiracy theory that IGN was blackmailing the developer. No, it's Sweet Baby Inc. who's blackmailing the developer using IGN as their mouthpiece. You can go down a rabbit hole of quite jaw-dropping horribleness on any one of these manufactured controversies, but take it from me, it's really not worth it. Don't believe your lying eyes, okay? Don't actually see their arguments, the other side of this equation. Trust the Guardian, a beacon of journalistic integrity. Then we have this one right here. That's a fun one to interpret, and that Ubisoft has somehow forced by the shadowy forces of wokery to make the main character of its upcoming Assassin's Creed game a black samurai, contradicting historical evidence. That last claim was bolstered by the king of bad posters himself, Elon Musk, who replied to a tweet about his manufactured outrage with DEI kills art. And I mean, you can go ahead and just write exactly what Elon wrote, but does it make it any less correct? I don't think so, but I wonder, man, if you want to continue up on your coverage of Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows, are you going to touch on this and the fact that, yeah, it's not so much that they stole the Japanese iconography of the era, that they stole a fringe historical figure only to make him more pronounced in the lore. Are they going to talk about them stealing actual Japanese history for their own benefit? Probably not. Japanese reenactment group Sekighahara Teppo Corps claims Ubisoft stole their banner symbol, contemplates a lawsuit. Comment section is filled with displeasure about Ubisoft's first claiming game was historical, then flipping to fiction when called out. Yasuke goes around decapitating and crushing the heads of peasants and characters that appear in the game. A member of a Sekighahara Rifle Corps may be treated the same way by Yasuke in the game. I mean, here you have a pretty cool reenactment group. Okay. Perhaps a little bit later set, they would be reenacting something set a little bit later in the timeline than what, the very historically, very accurate Yasuke story is going to be. But as you can see, they've got their own branding. We got really sweet armor, man. Like, that's really nice. But there's a post that they have right here, and I'll obviously link it out, and you can go ahead and read it at your own leisure. It's just trying to zoom in on some of these Twitter posts is a little difficult, but I heard a little bit about it. But it seems that Sekigahara's Rifle Corps was used as the background of the concept art for Assassin's Creed Shadows. I actually took a look at it, and when I zoomed in, I could definitely see the black flag that we use. Honestly, I'm not sure how to react. The issue with the riflemen was the unauthorized use of the black flag, but that isn't a fabrication of history, a separate issue. Also, I think the design of the flag would be impossible at the time, but I don't know if the Rifle Corps didn't exist. I registered as a user to contact Ubisoft's Japan support via inquiry form. I told them that the concept art depicts the Sekigahara's Rifle Corps flag, and that they wanted to officially use it, they should contact a representative. Thank you so much for all your comments. We do not engage in profit-making activities, and we and we are run almost entirely by volunteers from the general public. Oh, so they're just trying to shirk responsibility on that. And then following up from somebody else, the Romance of the Three Kingdoms series was originally made as fantasy, and the production company made it clear so that there was no outrage. Problem with this one is the production company announced that it was based on historical fact and that Yasuke was a hero who saved people from Japanese oppression. If the production company had announced from the beginning that this was fiction and fantasy, there would not have been an outrage. Exactly. Why do you think? And there's some whataboutist journalists that are there. Yasuke was in Neo too, so what was the outrage of that? They weren't trying to tell a historically accurate story, but go on. I don't think there was any outrage, and because it caused an uproar in Japan, they took back what they said was historical fact and started calling it fiction. But on the other hand, they announced to the world that it's a historical fact that Yasuke was the strongest samurai of the Sekigo period, respected by Japan. That's a problem. Lastly, in the game, it was announced that the decapitation is a historical fact of Japan, and in a gameplay video released from the manufacturer, Yasuke goes around decapitating and crushing the heads of all the peasants and characters that appear in the game. I also think that it is problematic that the members of the Sekighahara Rifle Corps may be treated the same way by Yasuke in the game. Sorry for the long post. No sorry is necessary. It is very important that you point all of that stuff out because, well, it gets even crazier. Okay, there's the original posts, and there's apparently what we see in the background, and well, that's from the game. Looking at it and going, that's very interesting. And then you can take a look at the Sekigahara's flag, and you can see a lot of very interesting similarities. In fact, similarities doesn't quite cover it. In fact, that's just a rip 1-to-1. You can feel free to watch it at your own leisure. It's just Ubisoft, on top of bastardizing fiction, they're also bastardizing the present. Like Grum says, they can't catch a break in Japan. It's mostly because they thought, yeah, we'll just go ahead and we'll just, paint this with our same, DEI slop, and, those Easterners, they'll just go ahead and eat it up until they realize that, Japan, being as a homogeneic society as they are, don't really take kindly to foreigners, especially ones with such nefarious interests. So yeah, they picked a fight that they know that they couldn't win, tried to deploy all of the tactics that don't work anywhere else, and to everyone's shock and amazement, the Japanese are winning against the woke company. Big shock on that one. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.